What has my first month of YouTube been like creating cigar content? What are some things that I've learned and some things that I've experienced? That is the conversation that I indeed want to have with you guys today on this episode number 2 of Stogie Talk, which is what I'm going to name this series of me just simply sitting down and talking with you guys and just sharing my thoughts and just speaking my brains out. But before we get started into today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget that your entry into the giveaway for the month of July is simply for you to subscribe and leave a comment down below of a cigar that you enjoy or a cigar that you think I should try, and the drawing will be done on the first week of August or around there, depending on the number of entries that I've been able to obtain. And with that being said, you guys know I always like to tell you guys a little bit about what I'm smoking, and today I am smoking Laranja Reserva Azulejo, which is an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper with Brazilian Arapiraca binders and Nicaraguan fillers. If you see me looking that way, sorry, I have my computer there and I had to just kind of look over a little bit just to be able to read it. Sorry. But without further ado, make sure to light up, relax, and enjoy the smoke. So right here in the first third, right off the bat, as soon as you light up and almost start smoking this bad boy, Laranja Azulejo is gonna punch you with some of that spice, man, which is, I believe this is an Espinosa cigar. I think I said that in the introduction. And they kind of, they're known for giving you that little bit of kick of spice and then kind of just mellowing it out into the back thirds as you get further and further into the cigar. But definitely getting some pepper notes, getting some wood notes, getting some dark cocoa. Wanted to introduce itself to me and talk to me nice. But it's a little more spice than I enjoy, but I can say that here as my palate is maturing, I can smoke it and I can sit here and enjoy it. And if you see me looking over at my computer, I apologize. I'm watching the Norway versus Brazil game. Erling Haaland just scored here in like the 76 or 70 something minute, which is insane, man. I'm waiting on the Mexico and England game. Yes, I'm Mexican American, but that's not what you guys are here for. So man, what has my first month of YouTube been like? It's been full of a lot of learning experiences for sure. One of the most important things that I've genuinely felt like I've learned, and I know that you guys are gonna be like, man, everybody says that, but if you are doing content, it's something that you will quickly realize is your audio is almost always more important than your camera quality. I'm smoking this, with a Diet Coke America. Speaking of, I genuinely hope that you guys have had a great holiday. As proud as I am to be Mexican, I'm definitely that proud to be American. I try to embrace both cultures. Great construction. Sorry I'm getting sidetracked. I promise you I'm gonna tell you guys all this stuff. I'm just having a good time. I just got off work and this is just my way and form of just, this is crazy. 89th minute, Erling Haaland second goal, bro. This is insane. That dude is a beast. I know he's gonna be a problem with Mexico if he plays our team, but that's okay, bro. He's a solid guy. That's insane, bro. 76th minute and 89th minute. But sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. But yeah, audio is definitely more important than camera quality, and you'll see that yourself when you go back and play yourself and you're listening to yourself talk. You're gonna be like, man, something's not right. This doesn't sound right. This doesn't sound right. And once you put a little bit of money into some decent audio, because there's definitely budget options. I caught these DJI mic minis on Prime Day and I'm not turning back. I have my podcast style mic, which is I'm definitely gonna pull that out for my more in the future projects that I want to do for my longer sit down podcast style content, because I do want to push to that and eventually do something like that. Another thing, dude, nobody cares what you're doing, what you're recording, what you're saying. You get to a point in age where it's just like, everybody's in their own lane trying to figure themselves out, figure out what they got going on, what they want to do with life, and just get situated. And if somebody at your mature age, like me personally, by the way, you shouldn't be watching this if you're 21 and younger. So if you're 21 and older and you're looking over somebody else's shoulder, man, you got work to do on yourself, which that's gonna lead me into the next, thing that I've learned and experienced throughout content creation or cigar content. Man, that is an intense spice on the retro hill, but I like that. It slightly stung my sinuses. But the next thing that led me into saying was, do not, and I mean do not, compare yourself to others, dude. There's definitely going to be people pushing the same content out there as you, but keep in mind they are not you, and you should not copy their style or copy anybody in general and try to portray to be somebody you're not, man. Always be original. Do what you want. Experience things. If one thing doesn't work out for you, try the other. And I know I'm nobody to be even giving that advice, bro. I mean, I'm still learning. I'm learning with everybody that's probably watching this. And I say that because I was starting to do that, and I was starting to get a bit discouraged. And then I quickly said, boom, man, you know what? You need to quit, or you're just gonna, put yourself in a hole that you don't want to be in. So just keep pushing content. Obviously do, however, watch content and take notes of those that are doing better than you on your platform, because that's what I do. I love watching a bunch of other content creators, and some of them include Holt Cigar, Pick Jimmy Cigars, Free Smoke Cigars. I watch Prairie Cigar Club. Shout out to Prairie Cigar Club, by the way. I won that giveaway, so that will be a video that I will be doing, is unboxing. I won some cigars in a hat, so you guys will get to see that. But there's definitely a lot of people that put out good content, so just try and like get your algorithm to kind of pertain to your topic or what you want your YouTube content to be about, so that way you can watch them, and then kind of like don't copy them, but like just gather information about some things that they're doing and that you could possibly incorporate. But once again, do not copy anybody, man. Try to stay original. Just watch them so you can take a little bit of what they got going on over there, and kind of just so you can learn, man. Like, there's really nothing else to say about just watch to learn, but don't watch to copy. But man, I've honestly also can say that, or one of the things that this has taught me is definitely confidence, man. You're gonna quickly realize if you replay old videos that your confidence in front of the camera or in front of the camera presence is gonna increase little by little as you kind of do more and more content, or upload more and more. And if you do realize that, don't delete your videos, man, because I personally enjoy going back and looking at how timid I was in front of a camera during my first upload to this upload currently. And just be you. Again, I can't stress that enough. And that another thing also that I can generally say that I've learned is that you don't need to pay attention to the numbers, especially as you're like only beginning. I know you may see some people like almost boom instantly blow up, but you have to realize, man, everybody's different. Some people are just naturals, and I can generally say that I've noticed some channels. Let me put into this conversation X-Rated Cigar. Shout out to him. I enjoy his content. I think I watched his first upload, and he almost instantly blew up, or he's blowing up and growing like almost like boom boom in the snap of a finger. And I just think like some people are naturally born with that presence and that vibe to them, that they could get in front of a camera and talk for days. Or man, who knows, he may have even practiced before even starting to put out content, And that's also another thing that I learned, or that I can share with you guys. I do better in front of the camera, or like, having full on conversations when I practice them. So like when I say, okay, I'm gonna talk about this topic, I sit there and talk to myself all day about it. Then when I come and sit in front of the camera, I like always, kind of have a general idea, and have paved the road as to, where I want to stay, and things that I can say that, stick with me as I practice it. And then, that kind of gives me the opportunity to like be like, nah, don't say that. That just sounds lame or corny. And, adjust as you go. Man, I don't know if that spiciness, like on my palate, it's kind of like mellowing out, but on the retro, I want to say it kind of ramped up a bit. Coffee note there, a sweetness kind of introduced itself. I kind of want to say like some kind of dried fruit taste. There's even some leather notes in there that I'm picking up. Man, this is great. But yeah, man, just keep uploading, man. I'm a believer that you will be rewarded based on your consistency. And I also feel like it's up to you if you allow yourself to be drugged down. And once again, it's almost so easy to start getting wrapped up in numbers, but don't do that. I'm sorry if I'm getting repetitive. It's just things that I've genuinely here lately, actually over the past few weeks, I've been learning. I feel like outside of YouTube, this has also kind of boosted my confidence in a way to where, like, I've been socially awkward previous to this. It's kind of been something that I'm working on as time goes by. But YouTube has definitely made me a lot more comfortable having full-on conversations, like face-to-face. And also like when I'm out there checking people out at the family business, that's when I kind of realized it the most, man. Like I realized that I can like carry on full conversations without somebody speaking to me first, because I used to be awkward like that. My girl has also pushed me to keep doing this, because she notices how much it's made me a better person in general. And I don't think I'm ever gonna stop. And once again, don't do it for the numbers. Do it because it's something you enjoy. I'm a believer that when you start trying to make a hobby that you really enjoy and make it a business, or make it something that makes you money, is when you like almost immediately fall out of love with it. But ladies and gentlemen, I think that's gonna sum up my episode 2 of Stogie Talk. And I genuinely and sincerely hope that you guys can take a little bit of what I've spoken, and use it to kind of help guide you, or use it as you will, take it as you will. I'm just being myself, not trying to portray to be somebody I'm not, which my goal for this channel has always been to kind of be more like a podcast, motivating people to do what they want to do, especially men. But if you're a young lady and you're watching this, then welcome. And I hope that you yourself have also, or have, however you say it, have also learned something from this upload. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment for the giveaway, because I think I've had two or three people subscribe but not leave a comment. And you must leave a comment if you want to be drawn into the giveaway. But with that being said, man, Brazil just scored in a penalty. It was Neymar in the 7th minute of the overtime. But sorry, I'm just getting sidetracked. I'm just watching these games and enjoying my cigar, man. This is just the channel where I talk and have a conversation with you guys. I shouldn't even be apologizing. This is what it is. I'm being myself. I do apologize if it bothers. There I go again, apologizing. But I hope to see you guys in the next episode of Stogie Talk, and I will see you guys in the next upload.